I was vulnerable when it came to relationships. I never really knew how to interact with men, especially not older men. There was never any kind of like a constant male presence in my life. Fall of 2015, things were not great at home. I was doing the whole rebellious teen thing. I went to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, and one of the performers, he had given me his number. Very shortly after we started talking, we had this conversation where it was like, how old are you actually? And I was like, well, okay, I'm 17. And at that time, he was 34 or 35. It was a lot of late night phone calls, late night Skype calls. I was fighting with my mom a lot, and I would talk to him about it all the time, and he would just listen. And that's kind of what I needed. I think the conversation was always a little bit sexually charged, even when we first started talking. How many people have you slept with, or have you done that yet? Mostly though, once it started escalating, it was asking for photos of me, and then it would escalate more, asking for, photos of me doing specific things or in specific places. 2 weeks after we had first met and had been talking and things had progressed very quickly, he had come back to perform and gotten a hotel, and I went over and visited him. And that's when we first slept together. One of the biggest things that framed our dynamic was actually him introducing me to BDSM. He was a dominant or master, and I was a submissive or a slave to him. We had this whole conversation about, him legitimately owning me. I think I, at the time, felt that I was playing some kind of a game. So that's kind of where the break in my memory comes in. Once things started getting dangerous for me, I don't know how things jumped from these conversations to me actually doing these things for him. He would use my email to post on Craigslist personals, somebody looking for sex tonight, anonymous, and he would talk to these people as me through my accounts and email. And then when I got done with dinner that night, he would be like, these are the people you're meeting up with. I would sneak out through my bedroom window to see these people that he had set up for me. I didn't know their names. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know how old they were. I basically just knew to look for the car that was running in the lot. It got into such a routine for me of sneak out at night, go with this guy, come back, probably go with another one, come back. There was now a money changing hands during these situations. He did the entire time pose that he loved me, he really cared about me. He became the only person I could confide in, and that in turn kept me closed off from any of the other connections in my life. We had slept together and we had talked about, seeing each other because he was still very adamant that we were in a relationship, and he said, well, you should come and visit me. I managed to trick my mom basically into thinking I was going on a ski trip. I got to North Carolina. Things got really dark when I was down there. He picked me up from the airport, and I remember he actually had me stripped completely naked on the car ride back to his house. It was this sudden thought of, oh wow, okay, I'm actually here. I'm thousands of miles away from home. I don't have the money or knowledge of how to get myself back right now. From that moment until the moment that I had left, he was recording me constantly. He still had this fascination with seeing how many people he could find to sleep with me. At one point, I had been completely restrained for an entire day in his house while he fully went to work. I remember thinking, this is how people go missing. am I gonna be able to go home? Did he even book a flight home? I was truly dissociated at some points there. Like, I was not in my own head. But yeah, he did book me a flight home. I mean, I hate to say it, but this guy is smart enough to not make me a missing child. So I got home and I ghosted him. I completely blocked everything out. It was like, I'm done with everything. I don't want to think about it. I want to move on with my life. Several years later, I was in a very unhealthy relationship. I was considering an attempt on my life, and my boyfriend at the time called for a wellness check on me. And a police officer came and knocked on my apartment door. I went to say, no, I'm fine, and I started bawling. I said, back when I was younger, underage, I had all of this stuff happen to me, and I don't know how to cope with it. And so I think I would rather die. And he goes, that sounds like something very specific, and actually there's somebody I know specifically too who could help you with that. And she called me the next day. She immediately said this needs to be federal, and contacted the FBI. I think writing my impact statement was a point when I felt like I was finally starting to heal. Specifically when I was reading it in the courtroom, I think I fully crumpled to the floor. I was crying because it was like, it's been years and I haven't felt like I could deal with this at all until right now. And I mean, I'm still healing from it, learning different things about what happened and, what they actually were versus what I thought they might have been at the time. Just taking in all of that information, looking at it, understanding what it is, and then letting it go.